Hey guys, Happy New Year before we get on to anything else. So I hope you all have a great 2017 ahead. And for this new year, we have a lot of resolutions, right? We want to do this, we want to travel, do a lot of things. But one thing we all want to do together is grow our business. That's why all of us are right here, because we're going to learn to leverage technology so that we can grow the business 10 times. For that, we have with us Mr. Amit Agrawal today with us. Hi Amit, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Lakshmi. Happy New Year to
My pleasure.
everybody who's logged in.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Amit?
Sure. I'm a management guy. I actually went to Bangalore to do my MBA from IIM Bangalore way back in year 2000. Have worked in FMCG industry, Asian Paints, Marico for 4 years. 3 years in IT consulting with Infosys in Hyderabad. And my biggest stint was with Google, where I joined in the early days of internet in India. It is almost 10 years back, right in year 2007. I was part of the early leadership team, got a chance to launch a lot of businesses for them. My biggest story was YouTube, which I grew from zero to almost $100 million of revenue just in India. And I also did several other Asia Pacific wide roles for them. 2 years ago, I had entrepreneurial itch, so jumped out to do my own startup. And right now I'm building a startup called WizKids Media, which is focusing on early years. So think of kids age below 6 years. So imagine a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, that sort of an audience. Very excited because we are heading towards our launch. And I'm going to apply some of these principles again, as I've done with a lot of other friends who are founders of various startups. I run a company called India Goes Global, which is what I'm going to talk about briefly through the slides as well, so I'm just saving that for later.
Okay. So that's a lot of experience and tips that is coming our way, right?
Well, as I say always, it's always with the audience. So I would love to have you run a poll, give me a brief idea about whether they're startups, whether they're marketing people, what kind of audience we have. So just structure something on the fly that I can get a good idea. But any talk is as good as the audience, to be honest, because for you guys who are already listening, it totally depends on you what you take away from today. If you get like one serious idea which impacts your business in a big way, I'll be happy. I think it'll be a great start to your year. So I love that people are already participating. So Rachna is saying she can see the screen, and Prashant is already asking a question. Wow, I love this. This is a great audience already. Thank you so much, guys. So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about growth, and today is the day when I'm going to share something we've learned over years at Google, post-Google, how to scale businesses. Very passionate about that. Just introducing India Goes Global. I'll go fast, so I have this tendency, so please keep correcting me with pauses, questions. India Goes Global is a startup for startups. The mission is to help find great teams. So when I left Google, I ran into lots of awesome founders who had great products, were doing great job, but somehow they were not able to find scale. And we are on a mission to create almost $10 billion worth of impact in the next 4 years by helping some of the startups that we work closely with to grow exponentially. We've helped almost 1,000 startups across continents, bulk about 85 to 90% in India, of course. We have structured methodologies which allow you to 10x your business every 10 months. And now every 10 months, to be fair, it will not apply to a company the size of Facebook or a Google. It will probably apply more to startups which are reasonably early stage. Can it apply to a Flipkart or a Snapdeal? Possibly. But beyond that, I doubt. Will it apply to businesses which are not easier to scale because of infrastructure reasons? Around manufacturing, we at least have worked with a couple of clients very closely where we've done that impact. So it sort of cuts across the types of startups. But that's the sort of methodologies we build, we research, and we bring it out. Quick examples, there's a company called Whacked Out Media in Hyderabad. We worked with them very briefly. They took about 5 years to reach about $1 million of revenue. We come and apply some basic stuff for 4 months and we triple their revenue, which also means they broke even for the first time ever. And subsequently, they've been on a great trajectory as well. After we start working closely with them, they have at least doubled on top of 3 million. So they're close to about $7 million now. And for the last 12 months consecutively, they've been profitable. So I was very, very happy when Ram, who's the founder, told me this stat because, you know, it's your baby, you helped, you played a small role, and now they're on the great trajectory. This is a Click Digital video, which I think should start playing now. I'll hope you guys can hear it properly. All right, buffering. If it doesn't work, we'll just jump it. Oh, it starts.
Hi, this is Anand from Click Digital Studios Mumbai. Click Digital Studios is a foreign digital content company from India. We have been successfully operating in a bootstrap and profitable business for 3 years. That's when we thought the time was right to take a setup to the next level. A few months ago, we approached Amit Agrawal of India Goes Global to provide expertise on the digital online video business. What sets IGG apart is the dedication. Amit is knowledgeable, responsive, and thorough. He understands our operations and proactively suggests changes or improvements in areas that add value. We are happy to have IGG on board in this journey of our growth. Thank you.
Perfect. I can't help thank Anand for this great video he produced for me. Let's keep moving. All right. Yep. Okay, so what is the problem statement we are trying to solve? If you're starting a company, chances are that you can build a product, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't start. If you did not even have the confidence to build a product, you probably not start. And you know what? Almost every startup that did not succeed or become big, almost all of them managed to put out a product. But what failed startups did not have is enough numbers, enough users, enough usage, enough revenues kicking in. And therefore, we're going to talk about that side of the story of an early stage company. The mantra I like to follow is growth is not a choice. Growth is just not a choice of a startup. Again, going back to big companies like Microsoft, if they don't grow this year, who cares? They'll at least survive. You know, their shareholders might be slightly angry or something. But as a startup, because you have limited patience, limited cash, limited team, if you don't grow, you sort of are risking death. So it's actually not a choice. You either grow or you die. And it also comes from a basic philosophy, because I am somebody who did not start out being big an entrepreneur. I started with almost 14 years of corporate experience. So if you had to do something different, because these days great jobs at companies like Google are crazy good. If you have to do a startup, you have to think big. And therefore, my mentor told me, you know what, Amit, if you're making this choice, then you have to think like either I'm going big or I'm just going back to a job. And therefore, growth, going big is sort of like building to my DNA. I'm very, very passionate about growth. Okay, this is going to be interesting. How do we conduct this Q&A? Here's a question for you guys. What are the 5 major things? What are the 5 major things that are stopping you from growing? Just quickly pen it down. Feel free to share on the chat. Okay, Saral, thank you so much for that tip. I'm going to switch off the camera because I think it may be creating a problem. Okay, it will probably also increase the resolution. So I'm waiting for some of you to start talking. What are the 5 things, the top 5 major things that are stopping you from growing your business exponentially? And Lakshmi, please come in and help me with the poll about audience profile. Did we run that poll already?
No, we don't run the poll yet, because if the poll is on, then it will take over the presentation. It will supersede the presentation.
Okay, so I can allow you to supersede. You're the boss.
Okay, right. So yeah, I shall run the poll. Guys, we're also launching a poll right now. So please feel free to answer. So the poll is launched. Can you all see it?
Can we also run another poll to find out who are the founders themselves, or chief revenue officers of their companies versus others.
Sure.
And while these guys are answering, how stickler are we to timelines? This is budgeted for 3 to 4. Can I spill over some of the Q&A after 4? Is that possible?
Yes, but I think it also depends on our audience. Typically, some of
Yeah,
them
which is the question.
have to sign off. Yeah, exactly.
Understood.
So I think another questions at a time, no problem.
Okay, Jenny's got great points. Money, fear, time, product. Somebody's saying lack of right sales team. That's Priyaranjan. New business from Anamika, new customers. Okay. Lack of positioning.
Amit, some people have voted in the poll already. So 47% are in marketing. Yeah, you're able to see?
Yeah, I'm able to see that. Yeah. I'm waiting for you to launch the next poll while I'm reading out the answers that people are typing.
Okay, so I shall do that as well.
Perfect. And right platform for digital is unknown to Sandeep. Choice of media. Okay, please stay within time. Amit, Amit Ahuja, this for you. I'll definitely cover all my content before 4. That's a promise. I'll only spill over the questions because it looks like we've got a very chirpy audience today. I think it's the New Year energy. And I don't want to, I would love to cover as many as possible.
The next poll is on. Are you the founder or
Chief Revenue Officer.
Even
if you got a Chief Revenue Officers, you can say yes. Chief Marketing Officers can also say yes.
Please do keep voting so that we can have a good idea of the audience mix that is present.
And looks like we're done with the second poll as well. I think almost everybody voted. So let's quickly jump back. And thanks for answering as well parallelly. I really appreciate this interactivity. This is probably by far one of the most interactive audiences I've had. Okay, quickly moving to the next slide.
To read out the poll results because 40% have said no and 60% have said yes. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Cool. Okay, now we're going to continue to the second part of the assignment. Think of the 5 things you can do despite these hurdles. Now, your hurdles were not that I don't have enough users. Those were the problems. The factors were things like I don't have the right team, right strategy, I can't figure out the right platform, things like that, right? Now, what are the 5 things you can do even if you had the same team, same product, same idea? What are the 5 things you can do to grow your business? Let's start writing that in the chat. Mentor, policy knowledge, remarketing, fair enough. Okay. So, okay, waiting for answers to trickle in. What can we do to grow your business despite these hurdles? So I can use buffer and Hootsuite.
Jenny wants to clarify something. Yeah.
So Jenny, now there are things you cannot do, right? Those are your hurdles, right? I cannot grow because I don't have a great marketing person or a great direct sales person, etc. Or I don't have a marketing budget, maybe. But there are things that you can still do. Maybe you're already doing them, or there are ideas in your mind which are big and you can do. Those are the ideas I'm looking for. So what can you do even if you change nothing else? Just change your strategy a bit, but it is within your resources to do that. Generate leads by good marketing content from Swati. That's a great idea. Amit Ahuja says social media marketing, blogs, content marketing. That's the same thing, but I agree, good idea. Ganesh said better customer service, having a better product. Fair enough. Use marketing automation tools. Thoroughly work for LeadSquared. By the way, I'm a big fan of CRM, so I'm going to see if you have time to talk briefly about that sometime. LeadSquared, I believe, has a great CRM tool.
Yes.
Oh, there's more people trickling in. Video testimonials. Amit Ahuja, that's a great point. So honestly, we don't have time for more polls, but how many of you do any form of testimonials with your users? Jenny, keep pushing for more ideas. No, that's a wrong answer, Jenny. We can discuss it offline later. 5 things to do despite hurdles. Do it yourself, takes time, get consultant. All right, Priyaranjan got an elaborate answer for equity. Look for answers and wait for things to happen. Look out for help. Stop. No, you probably missed Priyaranjan. You missed the gist of the question. What are the things you can do without changing your manpower? Vaibhav Lal, content marketing, changing marketing strategy, but how, Jenny? Rachna says, growth challenge, users take time to understand the value. Okay, Vaibhav, engaging the current users. Rachna is still typing. Push content, text testimonials and not video. Vaibhav, I don't know about your business, but video testimonials, nothing beats it. Happy to cover that slightly later, but let's try. Balwinder is try harder. No, try harder is not smart. Smarter is what we're looking for. Harder, we anyway try everything that we've got. Create a viral opportunity, that's direction, Rachna, that's still not the answer. Anupam is still having hardware trouble. Sorry, Anupam. Automate email series. Lakshmi, can somebody respond to Anupam on a private chat because I think he's struggling with bandwidth. Automate email series, Milan Behel. I'm not sure whether you mean an email newsletter like of a thing, but that's a good idea. That's part of content marketing. Oh my God. Everybody's like content marketing, social media. We've got a very biased group here. Develop the product more? No, we said assume the same product. Blog submission or challenges to ask end users send a video. I agree, Vaibhav, it's a challenge. We get paid to solve challenges. Need to recruit, bad answer, Tarun. Good social media content, be more customer centric is a philosophy, Jenny. Mohan, social media. Okay. We're going to pause this. I'm going to stop looking so you can stop typing. I'm going to keep moving with the flow now, but thanks for interacting. I think we've honored content and social media marketing, which is great. I was doing this exercise for my own startup and we listed down 19 such ideas, 19. So we may not have time for everything, but let me introduce you briefly to the concept of zero budget marketing. Assumption is we have very little cash to burn, otherwise we could have bought, ad spots on Hotstar, on Star TV, Star Plus, ESPN, whatever, right? Whatever you watch. Or bought hoardings and things like that. So if you have low or no cash in the early stage, what do you have? So the way to solve this is to get into an exercise of getting into your asset inventory. Okay. You have your own network. You have your friends, some of whom can be consumers, influencers for you, etc. You have some talent. Maybe you can write well, and that's where content marketing comes in, or maybe you can produce great visuals or viral videos. You do have a product. We started with an assumption that you have a product which is working. So what about product samples or a trial version? We came up with testimonials. I think that's a fantastic idea for many, many more reasons. Because testimonial content itself could be your social media content. Think about that. You've got free event spaces or very, very cheap. Think about your laptop bag, your t-shirts, advertising space, right? You move around, probably 100 people see your shirt every day. Maybe 100 people see your, if you drive, then maybe your car, right? 1,000 people see your car if you drive even an hour in Bangalore traffic, maybe 10,000 sometimes. So think about cheap and free event spaces that you already have, like the door of your office. Why doesn't that have your poster? So think about very, very low cost ways which you do have and which will create an impact. Okay, time, you have time. You're committed to your startup, you have time, right? You have a positive energy around your product, right?
Just a minute, Amit.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, can you move to presentation mode for your PPT? Because I think people, Amit has a valid point here. He's saying that resolution will be better.
I can, but then I can't see questions, so I'll have to go off the chat panel. That is why I moved. Okay, is this bearable for you guys, or is it like totally no-go? Because I want to keep reading as I talk, otherwise I'll totally become monologuish.
Yeah. So he's saying it's all good. He just wanted just a suggestion. That's it. So yeah, let's carry on.
Fair enough. Let's carry on this way. One thing that we really, really tell people is get into milestone-based thinking. I mean, it's great that you started to build out the next Facebook, next Google, next Microsoft, next whatever. but know what you need right now. I was having this conversation with my team, and some of them were underwhelmed when I told them that right now I'm launching my app for kids in 2 months, and all I care about is it's a paid app, right, which will teach kids, they learn from it and so on. I want like 1,000 users. If I get 1,000 users who are, a majority of them are repeating, majority means anything more than 50% is repeating and renewing their paid subscription, I'm very happy. Now that's not going to make the startup impact that I want to make, but I'm still going to be happy because that's the starting point, and that's the first big milestone, right? And therefore you should be setting your goals very, very carefully, investing your learning. Your first goal would be about yourself. I will be recommending 2 great books that I recently came across. One is a very, very old-time favorite. One is a new one. I'm going to give that out to you, but please invest. Just like, 80 of you today, right? 80 of us. My God, this is probably one of the biggest webinar audiences I've had. Thank you, LeadSquared team. Have taken time out to spend 1 hour of their day to just learn how do I 10x my business. Where is the formula? Where is the success secret? But these last couple of exercises, last couple of slides is just to break your mindset and start investing in your own thought process. A founder and who works closely with me now, his testimonial video is also there on my YouTube channel. It took me 3 months to tell him, dude, you need to spend 1 or 2 hours just thinking about your business's next big bets. If you're not doing that, you're so invested in this operational flow, it won't work. And you know what happened? In the last 3 months, he figured out how to give that time, and we were able to quadruple his business. 3 months, quadrupling the business, and he's amazingly profitable right now. He was always profitable, he was breaking even profitable, and today he makes a substantial money, like more than $250,000 worth of net profit annualized. Other thing I tell people on zero budget marketing, content marketing, things like these is momentum is built over time. Have patience. Please have patience. Blogs, SEO, SMM, don't expect them to turn around your traction in 2 months. They're the right things to do. And because a lot of people came up with social media and content marketing, please listen on forums. After this, you 84 people, you have to swear, take an oath, because you're never ever going to do a copy paste into 20 communities on Facebook the same content. If you're going to do that, please don't show up for any of future webinars by India Post Global. You're blacklisted already. The reason why I say that is because that's the worst way to use social communities. Go to listen. Plug in your content. It's very simple. It's not rocket science. Plug in your content. So if you have a URL with a blog post which you want to distribute, wait for the conversations to reach somewhere close to the topic of your blog, talk about it, and link out within the conversation. When you go out as a publisher on another community, you're probably going to get drowned in the din. Even the 10 people who could have cared to listen will miss you. That's why it's such a horrible idea, and I see my friends from startup ecosystem do it all the time. Please, please, please avoid it. Every time I've personally tried it, and I know I'm as guilty as you guys are. Who's done it before? I mean, raise your hands. I want to see some hands. I want to see hands. Raise some hands if you've done this before. Okay, some people are more honest. Okay, I'm just having fun at your expense, but I have done the mistake myself. Oh, I see more friends here. Vimla's logged in, great. So, cool. Okay, moving back. Now, when you look at the topic that we set out, 10x in 10 months, first of all, I was not expecting 86 people to show up, right? And the numbers are only going up. The reason I did not expect it is because most people are supposed to rubbish the idea. They've been giving their toil, blood, sweat out to the startup, and they're not able to move the needle. They're probably either flat or growing very, very incrementally and are hitting their numbers. And therefore, the topic is designed to challenge your own belief system. Is it even possible? Or is this some mumbo jumbo packaged? Okay, but the fact is that the growth is very, very simple. It's the people, it's us, our biases, our prejudices, our existing stakes in our strategy, which are very, very complicated. And I don't have a time to build on that, but I'm going to recommend a great book which will teach you exactly where we screw up on growth and where we miss the growth. There is this, we're working recently with the CEO of Times Internet for one of his investments. It's a Series B investment, and we went there to solve growth. But what we're really solving is a product problem, because product has a problem with the retention rate. And we believe we should solve that first, given how bad it looks to us, versus solving the growth. Because we know growth we can fix in 10 months, retention may take longer, right? Because it's to the core of the product, okay? Given the interest of time and the amount of interactivity we have done, we would probably skip this case study and move to the actual magic slide. So here is the user journey. Please digest this. This is the core of today. User becomes aware of your product. User tries your product, which you call as user acquisition number. Okay. You sort of activate the user, let them experience it, depends on product category, product to product. And eventually it leads to, first purchase. Then some of them become repeats. So we're talking about like stages in the funnel. So from user awareness to first purchase, there are micro steps: acquisition, activation, and first purchase. Then you're looking at moving on to some of these users will repeat you, right? So if you're a LeadSquared, I don't know if they've got a subscription program, but if they do, as a SaaS model, then you have to continue repeating them, right? And some of these people will give you referrals. So they not only keep repeating, but they also start recommending randomly to others. What do they like about your product? Things like that. Example being, there was a time a couple of years back where I taught my brother, who is not used to an Uber. He was visiting me in Delhi. I'm originally from Lucknow. I was visiting me from Delhi, and I taught him how to use Uber. And I was actually referring a customer to Uber in the process. Now, Uber wasn't really paying me. I mean, yes, there is a small referral money, 100 rupees or something like that, but that was not the motivation. I don't even know whether they credited me that amount till date or not, but I did it because I really liked the product. And by the way, I'm not biased. I also made my brother use Ola the same way so that he could find wherever the cars were. I like both the products. And some of them become really loyal. So if something else comes along, we don't want to change. How many of you have been using the same homemade, same milkman, same newspaper wala, same kirana store, same website? I mean, there are like 1,000 bookshops online that have been launched, but I check only primarily on Flipkart and Amazon. I've sort of become loyal to these couple of sites. You get my point? And then eventually the term that we don't talk about and we don't measure at all. So where we go wrong as an early stage is because we're so focused on acquiring users, get them to purchase. The right-hand side lacks focus. Now, this is a little bit more challenging than what all of us thought when we were starting our business. We thought we're going to build an awesome product. People just have to try it once, and they will just go for it. They'll start referring, we'll build a community, blah, blah, yeah? And it really boils down to what managerial systems you're monitoring yourself with, right? So I don't see people talking a lot about my repeat user percentage. I don't really see people talking about I'm tracking my referral and I get X percentage of my user acquisition through referral funnel. I don't see a lot of people talking about I'm measuring loyalty. You believe loyalty programs are only for airlines and hotels? Think harder about how many different kinds of loyalty programs can there be. Feel free to reach me online. I'll give you 5 of my own versions. But you know it. You as a user are using some of these loyalty programs of different kinds. Yeah, and so on. But what we're really looking for, if you have to go 10x, is super fans. Who are these super fans? So think of a concept of a fan. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a movie buff. So I like movies and I'm a fan to a lot of stars. I like all the Khan movies. I like Shah Rukh Khan movies, not so much anymore, but still do. I love Salman Khan movies. I love Amir Khan movies. I totally adore Dangal, which I saw with my family a couple of days back. Awesome movie, must watch, right? But I'm not a super fan for any of these examples. If I were a super fan, what I would have done by now is I would have started tweeting, etc. about it. Now here is a call out. If some of you are seeing sense in what we're talking about, please start tweeting about this. So I was told, I'm sorry Lakshmi, I forgot. I have to remind people to share their feedback socially with us and tag us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Yeah. Mohit will take a question later, but I think it's a very good question. But super fans, how will you measure super fans? These are the people who blog you, who probably follow you as a founder of a company, etc., who definitely show up when you do a small meetup of some kind, etc. Right? People are the first ones to like and share your posts. People, I mean, you wouldn't miss your super fan. Just the word should be self-explanatory. And some of you are probably struggling because you don't have one, or you probably missed the concept. But you know what, if you're measuring superfans, that's where the fun begins. So what's the secret of 10x growth? Dun, dun, dun. Here you go. Get to 100, just 100, just 100, not a million. To get to million, just get 100 new superfans. If you're B2B product, right, or a very high value purchase like a wedding product, for example, get to 5 superfans. Okay, 100 if you're a B2C app, like I don't know if the same Rachna Karnat who's doing another kids education startup, but if she's the one, then you just get to 100. It takes time. Get to 100. If you're really laser focused, you're doing a lot. Hey Rachna, hi, thanks for joining in. But if you just get to 100 new superfans, just 100. Okay, and if you just get to 5 superfans, not 5 users, not 5 repeat users if you're a B2B play, not 5 people who are referring to you, not 5 people who are very loyal to you, but 5 superfans. You know what? Because superfan, the way I'm describing it, already talks about virality, because they're sharing about you to others beyond referrals. They're talking about you, blogging about you, following you everywhere. Yeah, and that alone will create a massive momentum in your business. Massive. You can't stop counting money. It's like that big. Because just focus on creating superfan. It's okay if your user acquisition funnel is not that great. Somebody had an idea about doing a great customer service. Maybe service is your answer, right? You already have 50 B2B users. Maybe you provide something awesome about it that helps 5 of those 50 to just go out of the way for you. And they love you so much. You create some love, you get tons of business back. So just keep creating more love. Is that okay? Are you really? So this is a question that I don't want answered in the chat, but please note it down, write it down now. Are you doing anything to build your next set of superfans? What are the 1, 2, 3 things that you're doing as a strategy? And please, I know none of you are measuring your superfans, so please measure your superfans. That is the secret. You hit this number, 5 new superfans B2B, 100 new superfans B2C in 3 months. In the next 7 months, you will 10x your business. Assumption being, okay, you're not like a $1 billion business already, right? Assumption is you're like a startup up to, say, maybe a series A level, up to 1 million users. Easily this works. From million to 10 million, you don't need to acquire 9 million. Acquire 100 new superfans. That's what I'm saying. Seriously. All right. Case study where we applied some of these principles. There is a company out of Bangalore called Videogyan. They were 3 years old when I worked with them. They were doing about 1 crore of revenue. It was a longish engagement. For a year, they did not listen to me anything. Yeah, I have to go back and show you the slide where I said growth is simple, people are complicated. They didn't do. I don't know why they, hired me, paid me dollars. But then finally one day we had a little bit of, negotiations like tug of war. And then they said, okay, you're going to try what you're telling us. Just 5 months. And they now do about 30 crores of revenue. That's like 30x of growth in 5 months. Okay. So some of these are like real examples from last couple of years. Okay, and what is the crux of I'm saying? Get into the experimentation mindset. Okay, looks like I'm doing okay on time, so I'm going to just jump out and do a small story for you guys. Okay, while we're helping you note down these two cool books. I love these books, strongly recommended. I don't have any affiliate revenue, so please buy them wherever you like, pirated, non-pirated. I don't get any benefit out of it. Yeah, please don't do illegal. But meantime, the story is, when I was at IIM Bangalore, my professor used to talk about a great founder or a great CEO needs to be like the Holy Trinity. In Hinduism, we have this Holy Trinity. So Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Okay, Brahma is the creator. Yeah, Vishnu is the preserver. If a Ravan happens, then he has to come down in the form of a Lord Ram and kill Ravan, and so on, right? So he's the preserver. And Shiva is the Rudra, or the destroyer, right? Everybody's scared of Shiva. So he said a good CEO needs to be the Holy Trinity. So they have to grow some new things, they have to preserve the core, and they have to destroy things that are not working. Now, at a very early stage, I see people dissipating their energies by doing 50,000 things and not focusing on that question that I told you. What are you doing to grow your superfan user base, even if it's by one user at a time? People don't ask that question. People don't want to do one or two things that will help them do that first. People want to do 50 things. And that's where they dissipate their resources, their energies, and so on. In that process, they end up creating a lot of stuff which doesn't start flying because they're spread too thin. But as soon as they reach some maturity, maybe say about 1 million users, maybe about 100,000 paying users, or maybe even 100 B2B users, Tarun, you guys are very close to that number. I see very little of Brahma work happening. They don't create new growth ideas, you know, and that's a major problem, right? So then what I see is people are very good with the Vishnu, especially once they're grown. You know, they want to preserve their growth. They don't want to lose any user, nothing, right? So they want to stick to it. They want to spend time with them. They want to make sure their orders are coming in, etc., right? We're fairly good as a psychology in the ecosystem around Vishnu. What we are horrible at the moment the company starts reaching some level is to be the Rudra, because we hate to kill things. How many of you are old enough to remember there used to be a product called Orkut which Google killed? Some of you? Okay, there's no poll to this. I'm assuming some of you are nodding. How many of you notice that Google Plus is being defocused by Google? Google Plus, for your information, has 1 billion plus monthly active users. It is nuts to believe any company on this planet would want to say, I'm defocusing on a product that 1 billion users are using every month. But that's the game they want to play. You know, what are you playing for? What kind of a love you want to create? And frankly, at the stage of Google's success, they can afford to be crazy, right? Does that make sense? So please try to be focused on a couple of right ideas. These books will help you get there, which is why these books are recommended reading. And please be experimental, be in the experimental lab mindset. That is our biggest challenge with Video Gyan, which is why we wasted about a year. And please kill things that are not working. We've already killed a community for WizKids, which is the only community we've had so far. So you can go back to WizMom's community on Facebook, you know, and you'll find it's at 1100 or some number, and it reached 1000 like some 4 months back. We totally abandoned it. We don't post content over there because it was not working and not paying the result in the form of engagement we wanted. So we went something wrong. Now we're back to the drawing board. We'll do something else. Maybe we'll relaunch the community, etc. Right? So please be a ruthless, brutal Rudra. If Google can kill an Orkut, which is the market leader in a couple of major markets, can kill Google Plus, please think harder about what are you shying away from. But do great books. Here is a quick recap. Growth is simple, people are complicated. most of you guys have a working product. And go through the process. It's not an event. Have the right mindset and please grow. Please grow 10x. Otherwise, you're risking death of your business. Happy to help. Please help me help more. We're looking for passionpreneurs, entrepreneurs. India Goes Global does a ton of things for startups ecosystem. This is the best way to reach out to me. That's my email ID, amit@indiagoesglobal.com. Some of you can find me on LinkedIn. That's my phone number. Not very super responsive because I'm mostly doing my stuff, but it's out there just in case we get someplace. But email is certainly the best way to reach me. And with that, we have 15 minutes for a ton of questions we've parked. So I'm going to jump out to that, but I'm going to also pause to have some core questions come up now. I've switched on the camera so that people can ask. Okay, Tarun has 50 B2B dealers are aggressively promoting their brand. No, they're not super fans yet. They might be promoting your brand because they're referrals. They might be doing it for commissions. You're talking about super fan who does it without commission. So Tarun, that's a very good question, by the way. Now, how would you measure, I don't know what your product is, but let's say you're a B2B product and you've got dealers. So your sales channel is not. A fan, as example, is, there was a point in time when Salman Khan was doing movies which I hated, right? I love Sultan, so his cinema is improved for me, for my kind of taste. I don't know, some of you may like him or hate him. But even back then, in a city like Lucknow where I came from, there were people, there were friends of mine who would forcibly drag me to a Salman movie, even though I hated it, literally, right? I was miserable through the movie, but they wanted to do it. They would pay me for it. In college, there was this example, this cute friend of mine from Bombay now, he dragged me to a Jagjit Singh concert. You know, he paid for my pass. He paid for the auto. I was broke at that time. So you take these favors from friends, right? And those are your super fans. I mean, it's not like Jagjit Singh was paying him any referral bonus. These are your channel partners. Their job is to promote your product because they make money out of it. Superfan as a concept is totally pro bono. You do it out of love for the brand. How many of you have told, just like I told Uber and Ola to my brother, how many of you told such products to others? We do it all the time. So don't confuse your channel partners who are excited about your product. I hope that answers. Morish has a question. How do we increase downloads of our app? Great question. A couple of these books which I gave will help. But since we have time, I'm going to just zoom out a little bit and talk about how I am planning traction. So like I said earlier, there are 19 possible channel strategies for my startup, including content marketing. Think about partnerships, think about door-to-door, direct sales, events, right? We are all very different kind of strategies. So you need to figure out through experimenting, Morish, how to find the top 2 ideas which you find most easy to launch to get to your next goal. And if you're launching today, you're looking at your first 1,000 downloads, right? I think one thing that you should definitely do if you're an app is app store optimization, but beyond that, what you'll do becomes a traction channel. And you figure out a couple of channels at a time, which is 1 month. Don't focus on anything more than 2 ideas, and keep churning, keep refining your ideas every month on month. Keep measuring, be the Rudra, kill it. If it's not working, move to the next experiment. And typically it takes about 3 to 6 months for a founder who's in the experimentation mode to find the channels that start working for them. There's a bunch of literature out there, but these 2 books will definitely get you there. If you miss it, write into me, I'll point you to more. Swati EOT, okay, how does an education company promote itself on G+? That's too specific, Swati. I'll need to have more details about your business. So one, I would not strongly recommend G+, but I think it may still be a great strategy for your kind of product and the audience you're looking at, but I need more details. So do write in to me and I'll try to get back to you. How do we increase downloads of our app more than should discuss that? Garima. Garima is BD head for a startup logistics service industry, cracking key accounts. What's your view? Absolutely, I think we covered the whole funnel. But you also need a process. You need a CRM product like LeadSquared. I think you have no option if you're in B2B sales, but to follow some CRM tool. I personally, honestly, disclaimer, I've never used LeadSquared tool yet till date. But the fact that you need a CRM tool is a given if you're doing B2B, especially if you're turning great numbers. So start with some of these basic tools. This is not even a strategy. This is not a CRM strategy session for you. This is saying have a CRM strategy to manage these deals. Amit Agrawal works in higher ed space. Students enroll for hotel management programs in Switzerland. Wow. And pay crore plus. No repeat purchases. How do I manage super fans? We get many referrals. Too specific again, Amit, if you can email me some more details, maybe you have a pitch deck or a business plan deck, etc. I'll be happy to figure out what are the right ways to explosively grow your business. Yeah. Saral, any thumb rule for a prospect to superfan conversion? No, there are no cheat sheets on this. This itself is the cheat sheet because we're talking about what is the mindset, what is the path you can take to grow 10x. If you stay focused on finding this, you'll get there. But each business is very, very specific, Saral, and to everyone who's listening to this, be very, very careful about that. Conversion ratios change with each strategy, with each product. There are nuances and they change over time. So no thumb rules. I'm so sorry. But what I have definitely seen is I'm looking at, let's say, a B2C app download case, like somebody just asked Morish us. So if he reaches 100 people who are massively happy with him and love him as a super fan, their reach, okay, this is how you do the math in your head. Now, this is not a science, right? This is not like accurate data. But the way I look at it is each of these 100 people is a micro-influencer. Even if through them your message reaches 100 each, that's already 10,000 in a single day. Are you with me so far? 100 into 100, 10,000. Now, over a period of couple of months, if they continue to be super fans and they continue to love you for what you're providing, that number organically takes you to a million. 100 to 10,000, one more cycle, and you're at about a million. That's how it works. Prashant, how to make digital marketing a success in a year milestone? 2A, Prashant, get specific. Priya Ranjan, I have to model for smartwatch solution. 2A, Abhishek, copy paste of content marketing in various groups is not the right way. Consequences that in the long run you're missing out. So I did explain it, Abhishek, but I'm glad you brought it up in case you missed it. So the consequences of doing it is you're not reaching the audience. You're happy that you did your job, but you did not do your job because you're going to the den. So think about it, right? If you have to do a very critical meeting, key client, will you do it in the fish market? That's what you're doing. Your content is an asset and you're throwing it away in the den. You get it? So do it nicely. Respect your own content assets. A Facebook post is an asset. A blog is an asset. It's not a post. It's not a bunch of words you put together. It's not copy paste. Yeah? And therefore, if you do it right, you have a very, very high chance of reaching the people whose heads you need to be at. Where to be Rudra? If you're honest, Prashant, you know when to be a Rudra. There are 99 things out of 100 that I tried which did not work. Logistics company, super fan, Morish, too specific. What kind of logistics I would have to understand. I'm not a logistics expert, but the same things, if they're reaching out to you, if you try to book a meeting at a meetup, not one-to-one, they show up. If you're a B2B player in logistics, do a customer panel with them. Do they give you a video testimonial? Things like that. People are super fans, they're more than happy to do these small things for you. Garima. So essentially, should we be focusing on people who can sell or people who are well connected to achieve the goals? Garima, I don't have the context. Milan, how to bring more audience to your training business. Too specific, Milan. Again, traction channel approach, experimentation mindset. For specifics, email me. Amit@indiagosglobal.com. Online tutoring company, Swati is, okay. Some of you are using this like a chat and not a question box. That's a small feedback. It makes it slightly tough on the eyes to figure out the question because it sort of gets into a sequence by timestamp. So I'm seeing like 2 messages from Swati, then 4 somebody else's, and then 2 more from Swati. So it starts with, so put in a longer message, but explain the whole thing in one go. Anupam, converted 1,000 plus customers. I'm running a B2C company. Average ticket size 50,000 rupees is what I'm guessing. Almost 200 plus gave very good reviews. Most of them are satisfied. And what is the question? By the way, that's great. That you've got 1,000 people paying 50,000 rupees. That's a lot of money. But I'm not able to understand the problem. Are you looking at growth ideas? Then look for which of these 1,000 became superfans. Priyaranjan.
Amit, he's repeated the question down a little below. He said, even after all this, we're not able to grow at the pace we want.
Oh, we all want to be billionaires tomorrow, but that's not a great question either. Why don't you email me with some details? I would love to help you out. Mail me some details of your business with exact problem, and I'll get back to you on email. Priyaranjan, care model for geriatric, disabled, cardiac, Alzheimer's, dementia, etc. Should be considered. Too specific, Priyaranjan. Email, please. So we've covered Anupam, pace. Painter.com. Oh, I love that. I'm from paints industry, Anupam. I started my career with Asian Paints. I would love to help. Real estate industry, super fans. I've been one to agent. Okay, so I'm not here to give away all my financial flows, but when we came to Delhi from Hyderabad about 9 years back, we were trying to buy a house in Dwarka. We got really friendly with this travel agent, great guy. I love him, Manjeet. And he used to overserve me, right? So I'll have smallest of the clarification that I'd go to him for help. And for some reason, I think it was just chemistry, he kept helping me. We bought a place, he got a cut on it. We later decided not to move in for our own reasons. We rented it out, guess through whom? Through him. We changed the tenant, guess who? Through him. Later on when we realized we're not going to move to that area, we sold it out, guess what? Through him. And we did one more deal, which is not in his area at all, etc. So instead of just making a money commission on one-time sale, which would have been close to about 1 lakh or something like that, his lifetime value from me was more than 5 lakh rupees of net revenue. And that's how superfans happen. Now you may be a builder, so you need to start thinking harder. But I can get into specifics on emails for sure. We are a medical equipment company on B2B channel. To some healthcare. Tarun, email please. How to market to students, especially school students. Milan, two-way. You need to get specific and ideally an email. Dinesh P. By the way, while I read out to Dinesh question, we've got 3 minutes to go. So I'm going to ask quickly from my moderator, Lakshmi, if there's a specific question she wants to mention. Otherwise, I can keep being chatty for some overtime, and maybe she wants to bring the formal session to a closure.
We can keep chatting for some more time, but there are no specific questions. I think I've covered a lot of questions already. So it's cool.
Perfect. So for those of you who are going to drop out, please go back to those books. Have the Holy Trinity mindset, right? Experiment a lot. It is not easy to find the right way, but it can be very fast. You can find a great path in like 2 to 3 months if you're experimenting and if you're really close to solving the problems of your business. Do read a couple of books. If not these two which I recommended, have your mentor pool recommend some books for you, and please keep investing in your growth. Just like you spent an hour with us today at the webinar, this is the right way. You need to go where you get the right ideas. The problem, the tragedy of growth is because all of these ideas are there on Google. So it's not that it's not that you'll get something really new, you know. It's just about the way the idea hits you. So the value of, if you have a mentor pool, get one. If you don't have one, but do get into the experimentation sort of a mindset. I find that very, very useful for somebody like me. And I've seen that help a lot of startups that I've worked with. But focus on very simple parts, because growth is simple. It takes time to arrive at your magic formula. You can find out, I mean, if you Google like 100 growth hacking ideas for exponential growth, you'll find 100. But the trick is in applying one or two. So have an advisory pool with some seniors to work with you. I have an advisory board for my own startup. You need to have one too. And through their help, keep experimenting. And the magic sauce is very simple. It's that same slide which says, please, if you're B2C, get to 100 new superfans. If you're B2B, get to 5 new superfans. That will 10x your business, right? So don't miss that point. It's a very simple slide. If you're looking for a very complicated slide, I'm not the right guy. I like to simplify things. I don't like to complicate things. But honestly, growth is very, very simple. And which is why we share so many stories from people we've actually worked with in the last couple of years where this has already happened. Okay, now back to the Dinesh P. While we're out of time and some people may be dropping out, but that's great. Thank you so much for joining in. You guys were dropping out and for your valuable time. Do give me some feedback on email or reach out to me on LinkedIn. It's easy to find me, Amit Agrawal, who work at YouTube. There are very few, or India Goes Global is very rare name as well. Okay, so superfans B2B to C case. Also in a scenario where vendors are competing, how does superfans work? Okay, Dinesh, I think you have very specific stuff in your head, but it's not coming across in your question. Feel free to either write in a longer message here or an email later, and I'll be able to attend your question again. Tarun, limited marketing staff, most of the time skilled in recruiting people for operations. Tarun, I totally relate to you. I wish I can reach out and give you a hug. That's exactly the problem I face, my friend. So this is what my mentor tells me. As a founder, you're doing 3 jobs. You're always building your team. You're always managing your cash flow, which includes investor pitching, and you're always building your product. Always building your team, always managing your cash flow, and always building your product. Those are 3 full-time jobs. Now, if it's an 8-hour shift, you're looking at like 24 hours a day. And that is why some of us passionate entrepreneurs don't sleep a lot. That is why some of you are up even after I slept this morning at 3 a.m. because it's sort of to wrap up everything. Yeah. But let that not stop you. Please continue to be passionate about your business. Growth is simple. Garima Sharma, cracking key accounts as your client is majorly dependent on referrals. What is your view? So we should be people can sell. I don't know Garima about your business. If you can share that, and either an email or here, I'd be very, very glad to answer this better. What should I do in my case to grow 10x? Anupam, we already discussed on email. Tarun, we discussed Swati. Well, press release work. Well, press release PR is a great tool. So one of the clients we worked with, they've cracked PR. That's how we are able to quadruple their business over 3 months. But I think traction channel to each startup is very different. So if I had more details, maybe on email later, I'll get back to you with very focused advice. What are the best hiring solutions, Shashikant? Oh my God. You did not come for this. This is a growth webinar. That's very, very sad. But honestly, it's a lot of work. So when Tarun was saying, I totally related to it because it kills a ton of time hiring the best people, and there is no one best hiring strategy. Please share yours. I struggle with it. I really struggle with solving my hiring challenge as a startup, and it's not fun. But you know what? When I used to work for a company like Google, and you believe the world wants to apply to work for a company like Google, this is what a typical hiring committee meeting used to say. We're not getting good enough profiles, the right kind of people are not joining, or that person was great, but I don't know why they rejected the offer. So hiring is a challenge across levels. It's not going to change. You're probably getting used to it now as a founder. it's a deep pain in my heart. If you guys can see me, it hurts, but it is an important thing to solve. Amit Ahuja is slightly disappointed. Book suggestions, great. Amit, don't miss the simplicity. It's not a complex idea of superfans, but it's worked repeatedly. Try to apply it. And I'm okay if you did not look for media ideas. I'm better off if you actually went out and made the 10x impact. And if you've tried a different formula to 10x, please share that back with us. And I would love to learn from you. I have a vague routine, Prashant, still struggling to get leads from digital. Too specific, somebody needs to optimize a digital campaign, Prashant. How to get it to success, a bigger milestone. Too specific, but primarily if you believe digital is marketing is the right way, then somebody needs to audit a digital campaign. If you send me details, I'll share some thoughts. Balwinder said we should constant want to write this time. How much time? Oh, just Balwinder, great question. Please read one of those two books. They actually take case studies, real life case studies with founders and solve it for you. Nail it and scale it and all in startup. They're great books. I'm a big fan of those books. That's like a super fan, right? I created a whole slide and I talked about those books at least 5 times. I'm probably a super fan of these 2 books. Anupam, thanks. Abhishek, if you want some detail, please try email. Tarun, 200 B2B, this is I think the Paintwala thing. 90% growth rate is just 20% per year. Okay, that's horrible. I agree, especially the fact that I don't know how many transactions you're doing, but I'm happy to look, Tarun, if you get into an email chat with me on this. Ganesh, thank you so much for kind words. Vaibhav. Coach, deal, would love to get growth ideas. Weber, for specifics, please use email. This is a webinar on a topic, but not necessarily about specific questions. Sandeep Bose, please answer my above question. What did I miss from you, Sandeep? Lakshmi, can you find Sandeep Bose's question for me?
Please tell how to promote our business services. They are a market research company.
Okay, but there are multiple kinds of
So
market
Sandeep,
research
can you get a
companies.
little more specific with the question? And since Amit is taking questions, specific questions on email anyway, so I suggest you can email him about it. Is that okay, Amit?
Yeah, totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Garima's got a long question, so I'm hoping she's all the inputs for me. Hey there, B2B sales for logistics solution provider. Now, logistics solutions is, do you run a delivery kind of a startup is what I'm visualizing. If I'm not, please type in right now to clarify. We have the luxury of time because the serious ones have already opted out. Tracking key accounts is important. Contacts and referrals and less and slow through traditional sales approach. What should I do recruitment? I think for B2B sales, I can give random ideas to you, things that I believe may be relevant and you need to pick, but the prescription would remain the same. Find 1 or 2 ideas which you can apply in a very cool way. So in B2B and B2C, what is very relevant? So Garima, I don't know whether you're into books, but I am. So I'll have you suffer. So here is another book suggestion for you. And if you don't want to read it, just listen to me carefully as I speak. Garima, this is a book called Purple Cow. Purple Cow. What it talks about is how to differentiate yourself in a crowded marketplace. And sometimes I believe if you get the purple cow definition very right, it sort of works really powerfully for you where a product is very direct sales driven because you're able to differentiate every time a sales guy knocks or gets into a meeting with a client, and that sort of works like a charm. So if as a marketing person you can, or as a sales strategy person, you can define how will you differentiate substantially from your competition in a crowded commodity-like marketplace, that will give you great dividends in the short run, if that's what you're looking for. Now, some of the aggressive strategies I don't see anybody doing is reanalyzing customer segments, right? I don't know if you're the guy who Is a courier company competes with overnight or DTDC, or are you a delivery for e-commerce? But whatever segment you're targeting, India is a growing economy. There is tons and tons of segments which are waiting to be uncovered with a focus solution. So some of it may be product. Some of it may be positioning as you figure out your purple car statement, right? So try to figure that out, and rest of it should become easy. But B2B, if you don't have a CRM solution, you don't have a chance. The LeadSquared team should be happy because I'm recommending him left, right, and center as a space. I don't know their solution, but I think that'll be useful. Arindam is a kind word. Thank you so much, Arindam. Vaibhav is very quick on email. Sandeep will email. Monish, we are a last mile delivery service in Hyderabad looking for low budget marketing and other stuff, and I'll share by email. Great. Tarun will email, I guess. Right, we've wrapped up everybody and we're only 9 minutes over time. And the shocker is that 49 people still with us.
Yes. That's
And
amazing.
that's it. Let me finish off my coffee.
Yes, go ahead. So guys, if you are looking for a CRM tool, as Amit kindly suggested, you can try LeadSquared. We have a free trial also. Yeah, that's a shameless plug, but you can try it. If it will help your business, you can always, it is free initially, so you can use it initially to check how well you can, how well it adapts to your business. And if you want, you can, of course, buy it later.
Perfect. So should we just call it a day? I think it's 4:10. So I'm so pleasantly surprised to see like 40 plus people still there, almost 50 people still there. But thank you so much for your kind time, and feel free to write into me on email. It's been a great pleasure talking to you. You've been a fantastic audience, one of the most interactive ones I've ever had. And all the best for this year. Please write into me also with success stories. So October is my birthday month. 10 months from now, I would love to hear from some of you who did go 10x, who struggled to 10x, who stopped at 2x, who went negative. I would love to hear from you guys as well. But all the best for the year.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this session with us, Amit, and thank you audience for being so beautifully responsive. We'll hope to see you all in the next session, and have a great new year, guys. Bye-bye.